morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning for our service of Multifaith Readings and Reflection. My name is Bavli. I'm one of the spiritual care practitioners here at the hospital. So this is a service of Multifaith Readings and Reflection, and throughout this service you will see and hear prayers and scriptures which represent some of our multi-faith community. We encourage everyone to participate in all aspects of the service and to enjoy and celebrate those aspects they have found most supportive and helpful to you. We hope that everyone will learn something new today, and in that spirit keep an open mind throughout. Today's theme of the service will be on community. So we have an opening reading here, and this is a poem by Nathan D. No strength to go through the motions. She hasn't seen family or friends. Trying to find something within, nothing left to give. No reason to live, her mind is out of reasons. She is dead inside, her memories fading away. She doesn't want to lose them and tries to hold on to them. She racks her brain all day trying to find a way to keep them fresh and vibrant. Our next reading comes to us from the Hindu tradition, and this comes from the Rig Veda. Meet together, speak together, let your minds be of one accord, as the gods of old, being of one mind, accepted their share of the sacrifice. May your counsel be common, your assembly common the mind and the thoughts of these united. A common purpose do I lay before you and worship with your common oblation. Let your aims be common and your hearts be of one accord, and all of you be of one mind, so you may live well together. Our next reading comes to us from the Jewish tradition, and this comes from the book of Ecclesiastes. Two are better than one, because they have had a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his companion. But woe to him who's alone when he falls, for he has no one to help him up. Again, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one be warm alone? Though one may be overpowered by another, two can withstand him, and the threefold cord is not quickly broken. Our next reading comes to us from the Muslim tradition, and this is taken from the Quran and the Hadith. Lo, Allah enjoys justice and kindness and giving to king's folk and forbids lewdness and abomination and wickedness. He exhorts you in order that you may take heed. Allah said, O my servants, I have forbidden wickedness for myself and made it forbidden among you, so do not do injustice to one another. Our next reading comes to us from the Christian tradition, and this comes from the book of 1 Corinthians. Just as the body is one and has many members, and all the members of the body, though many, are one body, so it is with Christ. For by one Spirit we are all baptized into one body. Jews or Greeks, slaves or free, and all were made to drink of one Spirit. For the body does not consist of one member, but of many. If the foot should say, because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body, that would not make it any less part of the body. And if the ear should say, because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body, that would not make it any less part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would be hearing? If the whole body were an ear, where would be the sense of smell? But as it is, God arranged the organs in the body, each one of them as he chose. If all were a single organ, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, yet one body. Our next reading comes to us from the Buddhist tradition, and this is taken from the book of Advaita. One thing, when it comes to pass, does so to the loss, to the unhappiness of many folk, to the misery of the gods and humankind. What is the one thing? Schism in the order of the monks. When the order is broken, there are mutual quarrels, mutual abuse, mutual exclusiveness, and mutual betrayals. Thereupon, those who are at variance are not reconciled, and between some of those who are at one, there arises some differences. Good morning again, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's service of Multifaith Readings and Reflection. My name is Bavli. I'd like to offer you some reflection today on the theme of community that we've heard our readings so far. So, when you get to know me a little bit, and you get to know part of who I am and my identity, you'll get to know that basketball is a big part of my life, as well as my friends and my own community as well. So, I was hanging out with a friend the other day. We were playing basketball together, and recently this community has experienced a divide. So about 8 years ago, we lost a good friend who drowned in Lake Ontario, and not too long ago, a few years ago, we lost another friend to a heart attack. This was devastating to our group and to me, and I had a hard time coming to terms with both their deaths. This group came together to play basketball and to do other things together. And so this group was broken. This community that we have was devastated. So I asked myself, why are we drawn to groups? What makes us want to be with each other? Individuals and families function within the context of a community, which in turn functions within a larger society, nation, and the world. The individual's and family's well-being is bound up within the community's well-being. And likewise, its well-being is inseparable from the peace and the prosperity of the society, the nation, and ultimately, the world. A beautiful thing that I've learned about community is that it enables us to welcome and help people in a way we couldn't do as single individuals. When we pool our strength and share the work and responsibility, we can welcome many people, even those in deep distress, and perhaps help them find self-confidence and inner healing. Here in the hospital, we operate as a community. The longer we live in community, the more we are able to put our guards down, and this is when we start to get real with one another. Of course, this is a good thing. You cannot build authentic communities without an atmosphere of trust and acceptance. However, this also may mean that the politeness that eased your transition to community living may be somewhat lacking.
Cancel code white, cancel code white.
You might find that your patience is beginning to run thin, laziness is setting in, and your words to one another are becoming a little less guarded. Community living can become more challenging. Today's readings remind us that we can foster and develop methods that allow us to work together as a community. The Hindu reading reminds us that we must meet together, speak together, and let our minds be of one accord in order to help and accept and share in our communal sacrifices. The Jewish reading says that two are better than one because when we fall, we have a companion to help us when we fall. The Muslim reading reminds us that Allah is pleased when we share and are kind with one another. The Christian reading alludes to many members and those members functioning as one body. Being a community does not mean doing extraordinary things, but doing small things together. I'm reminded of a John Vanier reflection on community when he said the following: a community is only being created when its members accept that they are not going to achieve great things, that they are not going to be heroes, but simply live each day with new hope, like children, in wonderment, as the sun rises, and in thanksgiving as it sets. Community is only being created when we have recognized that the greatness of humanity is to accept our insignificance, our human condition, and our earth, and to thank God for having put in a finite body the seeds of eternity, which are visible in small and daily gestures of love and forgiveness. The beauty of humanity is in this fidelity to the wonder of each day. When we realize that our greatness is to accept the insignificance, that's when we will be able to see our community more clearly. Some of you might be wondering, where's my community? Or who is part of my community? As a spiritual care practitioner, I have realized that part of my community is the individuals that I work with here in the hospital and the patients that I see become part of my community. The nurse who visits at the bedside, or the physiotherapist who helps you with your daily routine, can become part of your community. When you notice these small parts, that's when you will start to develop your community here. My community, as I mentioned at the beginning, has never been the same since the passing of my two friends. But we are able to come together and to grow through the pains we experienced. My community realized that it is when we stand up with all our failings and sufferings and try to support each other rather than to withdraw into ourselves that we can fully live the life of community. Every human activity can lead to a life of community, and we will be able to exercise our gift to build communities if we allow ourselves to open up to each other. And now we will have our concluding reading. Trusting in you, we join one another as a community of gatherers on a journey to grow even deeper in our trust, in our love, in our desire to grow together. Along the way, let us remember the love we have for each other, of our sacrifice for each other, and of our presence. Let us never lose hope along the way, to stay strong in our desire to ever be mindful of our presence. For it is in our strength and love and the graces we bestow upon each other that we can go out and share in our love and bond with all those in our community. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for today's service of Multifaith Readings and Reflection. I hope you have enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. If you'd like to connect with Spiritual Care, our contact information is on the Spiritual Care icon on your iPad. Also, you can talk to your nurse and let them know, and they know how to reach out to us, and we can come to your bedside and provide you with support. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.